Oh my god. I really didn't want to have to make this. But I feel like it just needs to be made, and I really feel like it needs to be said. And I feel like who else is gonna do it?
I feel like I'm destined. I don't need no Smith and Weston, no. But who you testing? Fuck a scantron, here's your lesson, no.
Hi guys, it's Sir. Welcome back to my channel. If you're here, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, it helps me out a lot. Okay, I kind of just want to skip all of that YouTube talk because this is definitely a different video than what I have put out in the past. Most of my other videos are very lighthearted, very funny, and I feel like there's a lot of importance to that because in the world we live in today, it's a lot of morbid thoughts, a lot of things that are really going on, and it helps to have something that you can laugh at, something you can laugh with. This has really been weighing on me lately with the past events that have occurred. I just feel like I need to speak on this. Before I really get into this video and before I start talking on these specific topics, I want to say that this is not directed at anyone. This is directed at, if you want to direct this at anything, it's directed as a society as a whole. There's not one instance that I'm directly speaking of when I'm speaking in this video, so I don't want people saying, oh my god, the only reason you're doing this is because so-and-so got dragged, or so-and-so this, so-and-so that. If you know me, you know how I know how to stay in my own business. It's just when something is weighing on me that we need to change as a society as a whole, not individuals' needs, then I will speak on it. And also, a lot of what I'm going to speak on today is about social media because that's just what has impacted me a lot and just like the problems that I'm seeing there. So the first thing I kind of want to speak on is kind of how social media has affected society and how we look at each other. I know like a lot of people already say this, but I just feel like it needs to be said again. Social media is not always what it seems, period. Social media is really a highlight film, a highlight reel of everything that goes great in your life. Honestly, it is. Who is going on social media and supposed to say, oh my god, oh fuck, I had the shittiest day today, or blah blah blah, my doo-doo-doo just passed away. Like, you might see that, but that's not a majority of your posts. When you think of what you post, it's, oh, I just did this, I just got back on this trip, I just did this. And for some people, it's their job. So they get paid to make it seem like they just live the best life, and they really don't. They really don't. And with that, people want to start comparing themselves to these influencers. And I'm not saying that I myself am just immune to comparison or I'm immune to living that influencer life, which I don't. Like, I'm not a very big influencer. I mean, but you really have to take everything that you see in social media with a grain of salt. You have to take it with the context, knowing that homeboy or homegirl honestly isn't living that life that they may be showing on Instagram. Like, they may be doing these fun things, but honestly, when I think of my Instagram, I think I'm connecting with people. Like, I'm meeting new people that I would have never met if I didn't have this Instagram. But at the same time, Instagram is like my brand. Like, Instagram is my job. Instagram I get paid for. And it's not always what it seems. And I just feel like that needs to be said and needs to be understood. You just have little boys and little girls who are growing up in this era that are seeing these influencers and just comparing themselves and putting themselves down. And it's like, we really just, I don't think Instagram should be stopped. Instagram should be monitored. It's how we are perceiving Instagram. It's not what we are given, it's how we are using what we are given. Of course, influencers can kind of make it more apparent, maybe, that they're living their lives on Instagram may be different from their lives on, like, in real life. But it's like, honestly, I feel like as a society, we should know that it's a highlight reel. And not that we should know, but we should kind of learn that it's a highlight reel, and we should stop comparing ourselves to these influencers and kind of just look at it as an art, or look at it as it is their profession. On the topic of influencers, I want to kind of touch on cancel culture and how toxic it is in our society. Again, I am not speaking on any specific instance at all within, I know there's been a lot within the past couple days of freaking social media. There's just been a whole bunch of scandals, and I don't want to address any of them. I don't want, because it's not my place, honestly. But one thing that I will talk about is cancel culture, and how people on social media are seen to be, or are held at a higher, I don't want to say like a higher, what's the word I'm looking for? They are held to a higher standard than other humans. And should that be the case? No. But we're gonna have that happen. People are idolized all the time. Celebrities are idolized. Sports players are idolized. So of course, influencers are going to become idolized as well. With this idolization comes with the complete removal of the fact that they're humans as well. When people tend to idolize someone, they just forget that they also have feelings. They forget that they also have bad days. They have good days. They just forget that they are a person, and they only focus on the brand that they have made for themselves. And that is a really big thing. That's a really big no-no. That's just it's just not a good aspect. And I'm not saying being a social media influencer is like so hard. I mean, it is a job. It does comes with its ups and downs. But at the end of the day, if you're creating content and that's what you love to do, you have to accept that these are roles that you're taking. Like, I'm a very small influencer on Instagram. I only have 11.1K right now. And I'm getting DMs from young boys and young girls saying that they look up to me. Which, honestly, like, I tell people that and they're like, oh, wow, that's awesome. Like, that's crazy. But I've never said this before, but honestly, when I get those DMs, I love it. I really do, and I really appreciate everyone that supports me. But when when I first got those DMs, it really did scare me. It really did scare me because I'm so young. I am so young, and I just feel like I have role models for myself. Like, I have people that I look up to. And when I kind of remove myself from that situation, I have people that I look up to, and then I have people that are looking up to me. It's just insane. And I'm not saying at all, like, oh my God, people look up to me. Like, oh, like, this is really hard. It's just really crazy, and it's just something that I have to realize that this is my job, and this is what people do. So, on the influencer side, not backing anyone up, but on the influencer side, you have to realize that there are people looking up to you. You have this platform, and you use that for good. But then on the audience perspective, you also have to realize that if this person does make a mistake, the first thing should not always be cancel them. You know what I'm saying? Again, not talking about anything in specific. And I mean, there are some instances where it really does show a person's character, but not all the time. And sometimes it's for people even sharing their opinion on something, you want to cancel them. And I see that term always on Twitter. I see it everywhere. It's like, this person did so-and-so, cancel. And then it becomes a trend to hate someone, which I just feel like is just crazy because I was always brought up to spread love. And when it just becomes popular to hate someone, I just can never get on that bandwagon. But at the same time, I have been cursed with a very, very, very big heart. And I tend to always see the good in someone, even if they show me the bad. And it takes me a really, 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 really long time to not like someone, but I will never, ever, ever cancel someone. I will never completely remove someone. I will never not forgive someone, because it's just like I strongly believe that forgiving is a very big quality to have, because I would want to be forgiven myself, if that makes sense. But just forgiving and not forgetting is another big thing for me. I will forgive you, but I will not forget that instance. That will always be in the back of my head. But if you sincerely apologize and you sincerely mean what you say, I will forgive you. Because, I mean, at least you took the initiative to apologize. But this apology needs to be sincere and you need to mean it, or it's just not going to work. But going back to what I was originally talking about, cancel culture is so toxic, especially to influencers, because they are just so... Their whole life, if you think about it, is on an app which everyone can see. And I'm going to ask you guys a question. If your whole life, including the mistakes that you have made, was for the whole world to see, how would that affect you? Like, I'm just coming up. I'm staying out, trying my best to stay out of scandals, to stay out of this. But in the past, like, I am not gonna lie, I have made mistakes in my life. I have definitely I'm not perfect at all. I have made mistakes in my life. And I'm just lucky to say that they have never been really big mistakes that can change the direction of my life. But they have been mistakes. So it's like, and they just weren't put out on the internet. So it's like, I don't know. Cancel culture is definitely a thing that we as a society need to take a step back and really just start forgiving each other. And stop this cancel culture, which just really spreads hate and can drive people to do some scary things. Like, social media is so powerful. It can spread so much good, spread so much love, but at the same time, it can spread so much hate and drive people to do things that they can never take back. So that is why I really wanted to talk about this canceled culture and hope to just reach very other influential people who can share this video, share these thoughts if they agree, because I know not everyone agrees with my opinion, which again is okay, but I just want this to get to someone, especially if they need it, and maybe change how the rest of their life is going, change a decision that they may have made. This is kind of the last really big thing that I want to talk about when coming to social media. It's kind of how, again, not talking about any specific instance, because I just don't want to be in that, but racial discrimination and inequality within social media. As a black male growing up in America, not only growing up in America, I'm not going to say where exactly I live, but I live in a very, very small town. A very small town. And with this small town also comes with small minds and very close-minded people. And as you may realize, or as you may think, being the only black male, not only the only black male, but also when I came out about a year or so ago, 2 years ago, being one of the only gay black men in this town really shaped me and really showed me people's intentions and kind of how to deal with discrimination. Not saying at all that if you're having discrimination, you have to deal with it. But in my specific situation, growing up here, it's everywhere, and I know that I can't change everyone's mind. So really just finding people that care for you and love you for you is crucial. But within social media, I can say that I have seen unequal opportunities for African Americans or just POC, people of color, everywhere in this industry, and that is a main reason why I am so driven to make my name in this industry. Growing up, I've always wanted to be in entertainment, and then Instagram started to become a thing, and so did YouTube, and I just knew that was for me. But growing up, I never had a a strong group of Black or just people of color just to watch and look up to. Honestly, I really didn't. And when I started to come into the game and kind of start my Instagram, I kind of grew sort of quick. And the one thing that I can say is becoming an influencer in a majority white field, you have these people of color spread out who have made a name for themselves, and that's who I've looked up to. But once I kind of tried to start making a name for myself, comparisons kind of started to be drawn. And I'm not saying I didn't get any influence from each one, because they are everything to me. I literally grew up on them. Imagine being just a little Black boy where there's no other Black boys or Black girls to watch on YouTube, so you watch them. That's who you grow up with, and of course you're going to be influenced by them. But when you start comparing me, saying, oh, you just want to be so-and-so, you just want to be this and that. No. I want to be myself. I want to make a name for myself. What is being so-and-so going to do for me? Like, we already got one of them. What is it going to do for me? Nothing. I want to make a name for myself. I want to share my views. I want to live my life. So we just really stop comparing Black YouTubers to other Black YouTubers. Like, we have these other influencers doing the same thing, but no comparisons are drawn. Like, I just really don't understand that. Going back to equal opportunities for each, I'm not trying to point out any specific person, any specific brand, but we honestly need to do better. We really, really, really need to do better. And I just don't want to be here sitting down in my living room saying we need to do better without giving ways to do better. So ways that we can do better. Honestly, reaching out to more people of color, reaching out to different body types. And I'm not just saying, I am honestly just tired of seeing the same cookie cutter girl, honestly. So just reaching out to different people of color, different body types. Honestly, more men within the industry. Like, for me, that's been really hard because Instagram is definitely driven by women, and I'm so proud of that. I'm all for women's rights. I am all for women's empowerment. I am all for girls have something that they can call for themselves, but within this industry, I want to make a name for myself. So kind of including more men of color, more women of color, more women with different body types. Now that is how you truly diversify this industry. Not having one or two token Black girls, token Black boys, token whatever, token any person of color, and calling it a day. No, like, that's not gonna work. Like, again, I know some of y'all are really trying to pick my brain and see what I'm talking about. I am not talking about anything. I'm just seeing I'm just stating what I saw, what I see every day when I open up my Instagram. So, again, let me just do a quick little recap before I end this video. So, cancel culture, come on. Influencers are also human beings. Influencers deserve forgiveness. And I feel like we should be big enough to have them earn that forgiveness. And forgiveness, again, forgiveness is earned. Forgiveness is not just something that will be like, okay, time has passed, you're pardoned. If they are genuinely taking steps and showing that they want to be a better person, then don't hold that grudge. That has been something, honestly, that I can say is hard for me. I have come a long way with holding grudges, but it's just, what does it do at the end of the day? It just has you feeling all tight and gross. Like, a grudge really doesn't do anything. So just forgiving and just let's make a deal. Let's cancel culture. Thank you very much. Inequality. Let's just do better, please. Instagram, brands, if any of the brands are watching this, please, let's just do better. And honestly, as a society, let's just do better. That's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week with something more lighthearted. I just really needed to get on here really quick and talk to you guys because it was really eating me up, and I know you guys will listen, and this is my therapy. So thank you all so much for taking your time out of the day, and I will see you next week.